You can put it on the board. Yes!
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live in Las Vegas in the AMP TV mobile studio, AAMP TV. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all natural USDA Prime Angus, Wagyu steaks, and chops. Wait till you see their best-in-class New York's, the filet mignons, and of course, the king of all those, cowboy cuts and tomahawk ribeyes. In fact, even the gourmet Angus and Wagyu beef burgers will blow you away. Probably the best you've ever had. For more information, check out UppercutChops.com online. That's UppercutChops.com, or call 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Again, UppercutChops.com. All right, and a big welcome in to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas. Of course, a big hello to everybody else streaming on AAMP.TV. That's AMP.TV, AAMP.TV, Facebook, Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, WOW Cable affiliates, and of course, over in sunny Southern California, NBC News, CNBC Financial, joined here by a very special guest in sunny Southern California. Maybe not so sunny right now. In fact, we're going to let him introduce himself.
I'm Bob Grant, retired Baltimore Colt, and presently chairman of the board for the Retired NFL Players Congress, and friend of the Sports Circus.
And what?
And friend of the Sports Circus.
Yes, and longtime friend of the Sports Circus as well. Great stuff. So, Bob, welcome back. You're a veteran on the show, and you always have great stories for us. Everybody needs to just call him Uncle Bob. And Uncle Bob is probably the best way to describe him because he has great stories. Maybe on a Sunday, you can sit back and listen in your rocking chair someday with your Country Time lemonade and listen to the great stories from Bob Grant. But Bob, also, listen, your organization, I want to get this out right from the very top, playerscongress.com. Players Congress is more than just a company. What is the big benefactor? Who is the big benefactor of Players Congress, and what does Players Congress do?
Well, the primary thing that we do is we manufacture pretty much all of the NFL jackets, Major League Baseball jackets, and NBA jackets that are manufactured here in the United States, and we import also, I think, the G3 and the Players Congress, which is Jay's design, are the two big dogs in the game there, as far as the manufacture of jackets, T-shirts, sweatshirts for all of the leagues, sports apparel. We also have our own line, which is called When Football Was Football. And if you go to our website, playerscongress.com, and visit our stores, you can see what that's all about. We are the only corporation, we are the only group of players that is a C Corp. All the rest of our nonprofits. We are a for-profit corporation. We do business with the sports leagues. We invest in a number of other things for the benefit of retired players, the widows of retired players, and a number of causes in the communities that we live in, including the inner city school for kids that are coming up there because they are our future. But St. Jude is one of the groups that we contribute to also.
That's really good stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on over the Players Congress, and let's face it, the organization itself is a robust one because I remember the first time I drove up and, Bob, this sticks in my head. I said, well, geez, Bob, I don't know where to park, right? I thought it was just a building that you were sharing with everybody else. I had no clue the scope and size of the operation of the Players Congress. And folks, this is no joke. We're talking a gigantic structure in downtown Los Angeles that really produces made in America products. And frankly, it's one of those things that people really should be considering these days, right? We don't want to ship our business offshore. We want to make sure we keep our business local. In fact, all the leagues, Bob, they're all trusting your organization to deliver excellent goods for the masses, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And our facility is 250,000 square feet. We are downtown between the Sports Center and University of Southern California. But we're a quarter of a million square feet. A lot of people, including a lot of retired players, think that we're operating out of a little two-car garage or a little storage space or something like that. But by going to playerscompass.com, you can see the size of our facility. We are the largest of our kind outside of China here in the continental United States, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, folks, just to wrap your head around this is over 5 acres under roof. Over 5 acres. And 1 acre, for all you that's keeping score, of 43,560 square feet, this is huge, really big. And think about the average footprint of a house on a city lot, on I will call it 30 by 100 lots. It's only 3,000 square feet. That's it. That's nothing. And this is 250,000. It's gigantic. So, Bob, we know that the facilities are good. We know that the products are good, too. I've got a wonderful coat from the organization as well. But let's talk a little bit about what the benefactors are specifically. Let's take an example. Maybe a player that has had, a retired player that couldn't maybe pay for their medical or something like that, right? There are things that the organization would do to help these players that, frankly, the league just doesn't give a damn about at this point.
Well, a player can get a check directly from us to help out with a problem that he's having, but we also contribute cash, even though we're not a nonprofit corporation. We're a for-profit corporation, so we can do with our income whatever we choose to do. We also contribute to the NFL Player Care Foundation, which the owners put into that for players who need assistance from time to time. With the Players Congress widows, they'll get 4 or 5 checks from us per year there too. The Goals for Life program, for instance, kids in schools, we donate money there. Tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum, which gets kids involved in the airline business and the various groups that we have. Some kids that are flying commercially now that came through our program some years back. We're trying to make a difference here in America, and I know that we are making a difference here in America. At a time when the country is a bit too divided, and but that'll come back together in time too. We just have a lot of politicians right now that are all fighting for power, and that always makes it a bit difficult for us ordinary citizens.
It really does. And I think if people would, I have to go off of this tangent for a moment. If people would logically think before they cast a vote for a person or a party, whomever, whatever, and they would logically think as to what is for the greater good, not because you like or dislike somebody, but what is the greater good? And unfortunately, Bob, as we drive up and down the streets today, we're seeing record inflation, record gas prices, record food prices, and everything else. And unfortunately, when we make a little bit of money and try to help the community, the one thing that doesn't happen now is as much money would actually go towards those causes because people have to pay for other ancillary items, right? I mean, nowadays, I saw something recently, and somebody had posted a picture of something on social media, and it said, car for sale. And then there was a question below it. Is it with the tank full or with the tank empty? Right? I mean, because that could add the value by a very large amount of money. And those who were riding with Biden are probably now crying with Biden at this point.
Well,
It is what it is.
There's certainly some questions that all of us, regardless of which side of the aisle we're on. Personally, I am conservative. Unapologetically conservative. But I think that we all have to, look at the homeless situation that we have in this country. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people in the country, many of whom are veterans, who have gone and sacrificed in war for this country. But we have millions of homeless people in this country right now. And it amazes me that we can send trillions of dollars to the Ukraine, but we're not doing anything for the homeless people in our home country.
Right. It's ridiculous. You know what, Bob, when we come back, let's spend a couple of minutes and talk about that. Talking here with Uncle Bob, the great Bob Grant, Super Bowl champion. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Circus.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
AMP, the multi-format network, is here to help create, produce, distribute, and sell your content. For more information, send a message to info@aamp.tv. That's info@aamp.tv.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. That's 800-908-7016.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV mobile studio, AAMP TV. This segment brought to you in part by my favorite Indian restaurant in town, and that is Curry Leaf. Flavors of India, fine Indian cuisine, ranked number 13th in the nation for Indian food. It is one of those places where you can get great gourmet food at reasonably low prices. It's very, very good. Southwest side of town, 5025 South Fort Apache, number 101, right off the corner of Tropicana and Fort Apache. Maybe 5, depends on how fast you drive, 5-10 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip on the west side of town. That's Curry Leaf. Give them a call at 702-527-7977 for reservations. That's 702-527-7977, or walk in or check out the menu online at curryleafvegas.com. That's www.curryleafvegas.com. We'll let that audience play out. Yes, a big round of applause, of course, for Curry Leaf, and big welcome back to everybody joining us on the Sports Circus today. All of our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Wild Cable, and of course, CBS over in Honolulu, CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the 49ers, home of the San Francisco Giants, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. And of course, our friends over in LA listening in on NBC News, CNBC Financial. Thanks for joining us right here in Las Vegas, right around the corner from where we're situated. And that's 97.9 FM, WAUD over in Auburn, Alabama, home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. Of course, WDJY in Atlanta, 99.1 FM, 107.1 The River over in Verde, Louisiana, Natchez, Mississippi, Mid-South Broadcasting. And thanks for joining us everywhere else, even on the Mars rover. We'll name off the rest of them at some point. It'll probably take a whole show, I think. Nonetheless, we're back here with Super Bowl champion and the chairman of the Players Congress, and that would be Mr. Bob Grant, but you can call him Uncle Bob. All right, buddy, thanks for coming back with us another segment.
My pleasure always, Sal.
It's always a winner, always good stuff. Hey, you got a really cool statue behind you. Everybody watching on TV can see. What do you have behind you?
Oh, let's see. That's an Erte, the larger one there that I've had for years. Obviously, you can tell that I'm a collector also. The rare coins primarily. The big picture back there is a picture of the Battle of Oahu with King Kamehameha when he conquered the island of Oahu there. The dancing girl back here, the hula girl, is one of Kim Taylor Reese's collectible prints there. Kim's a really good friend also, all from Hawaii. So that's part of my Hawaiian connection there. Then the other things that are back there are just various little awards people have been kind enough to give me over the years.
So you're tied to the Hawaiian community, of course, and we're on air over in Honolulu as well. If you don't say it right, then you sound like Howley. But even though I'm Howley anyway, right? The fact is, if you don't say it the right way, right? It'd be nice if you could say everything in Pidgin, but we can't really speak Pidgin now, can we? Can you speak Pidgin well?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's okay. But then, so Bob, let's get back to where we left off. And it was about, there was a homeless issue. There's a lot going on. Talk about your area and how you're contributing with the Players Congress by itself.
Well, we will be having a walkathon this year, trying to find a way to get money directly to the homeless, because too often, and that may actually involve just going out on the streets and having our players get out there and just give, $20 bills or whatever to some of the people out there who are in need. Because too often when you put your money into organizations, because of administrative costs, some justified, some not justified or whatever, a vast majority of the contribution goes to administrative costs. But we are watching it and we're looking at it and extremely concerned with, and understanding that there are other people on the planet who need help. You cannot convince me that we here in the United States can afford to send $1.3 trillion to help the people out in the Ukraine, many of whom are Russians, many of whom do speak Russians. When the same thing is happening there, in a sense, that happened in this country some 100 years ago, a bit more than 100 years ago, when the southern states in this country wanted to break away and be free and govern themselves under rules that they had set. Abraham Lincoln and the Union did pretty much the same thing that Mr. Putin is doing, right now. I'm not saying that he is right. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm not saying that Mr. Lincoln was right or wrong. But you can't just look at this thing as if this is the first time that this kind of thing has happened in history. If Texas or Florida tried to break away from this country and become independent right now, I dare say that we would have troops there trying to bring them back into line. Once again, not saying that it's right or wrong, but those are just the facts. And then with probably 3 million people that we've allowed to come in without question across our southern border over the past year, we put them on planes and buses and sent them to different places, and a lot of them are on the dole. And a lot of the cities that we live in, American taxpayers will be paying for them. I'm sure that they will be able to vote in elections, or it looks to me as if they're going to be able to vote pretty soon in our elections, even though they're not citizens. We have a lot going on in this country that doesn't really favor the American citizen. And I do believe, based on what my grandmother told me, that you're supposed to take care of your family first, take care of home first, and then you reach out to help others. That is one of the things that the Players Congress tries to do.
Okay, here's what I want you to do, Bob. I want you to look, you're on a roll right now. I want you to take another 3.5 minutes or so, and I want you to expand on your opinion and your position, because I think a lot of people want to hear from guys like you. You're a leader in the community. You're a leader in the country. And I want you to take us out to break. In fact, we're going to have our engineer cue you when it's time. You're going to actually hear some music. And I tell you what, I want you to take the next few minutes and expand upon that. That's very interesting perspective. Go ahead and take over the show for just a few minutes, okay?
Tell me when to start.
Right now. You take it over, buddy.
Okay. We have so much confusion going on in this country right now, and we have all of this racial conflict that's going on. When I grew up, which and Sal, myself, and my two roommates were actually the first 3 players received an award from the NCAA and from Wake Forest and the ACC this past year for integrating college ball at colleges and universities in the South back in 1964, in the middle of segregation. The problems that we have today do not compare with the kind of problems that we had, back then. We look at things, and we're looking at things in an unrealistic way today. With, say, young Black men, Pacific Islanders in this country, we're following what some of these groups and the media is trying to get us to do with the NFL owners, who I work with now. I'm partnered with. I work with the union. I'm partnered with the union, even though they have adversarial positions in different things. The NFL owners and the NBA owners create more Black millionaires under 30 years old than any country on the entire earth, since there are about 2,000 Black guys that are playing in the NFL each year. Actually, I think it's about 2,200 or more. And in the NBA, they have about 700 players to complete a season there. And probably about 450 of those guys are all millionaires. The minimum salary in the NBA, I think, is about $3.5 million per year. In the NFL, the minimum salary is about $800,000 per year, but no one makes a minimum salary. So when we look at things, we're attacking the wrong people in too many instances that you'll hear. As the people with the owners of these sports franchises and the cities that gets to tax these players who play in these different cities, and the foundations that these players contribute money to, because they don't take the money home and store it up in a mattress or bury it in the backyard. They spend it in the communities they live in. All of that money starts with the men who own these franchises.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Bob Grant here with the Retired NFL Players Congress at playerscongress.com. Please visit us again. I'm back here with my friend Sal at the Sports Circus. And we kind of got off into economics at the state of our country, here today. And chatting with people, I was certainly not saying that NFL players are overpaid, because they spend that money one way or another in the communities that they live in. They invest that money in the communities that they live in one way or another. They don't take it home and store it up in a mattress or bury it in the background. So that money benefits everybody in the community. So I'm glad to see these young men. Some are not making the greatest decisions with their money, but they've earned the right to do that. Also, getting back to the political end, what I was saying there is we can do better in America than we're doing now. And with our political parties, and I belong to one also, I am a conservative. With our political parties have become pretty much synonymous with gangs. They are acting in the interest of the gang too often, instead of acting in the best interest of the people, and that is us. So perhaps someday we might want to consider banishing all political parties and just requiring that when a man or a woman is running for an office, they run as an individual and they run on their own. Hopefully, I will live to see something like that take place.
Okay, I'm waiting for Mrs. Sal to get back.
Okay, well, I can throw just a few more things in here. I think that
let's go with that.
I think that our athletes today, are getting a bad rap, and the owners of the sports franchises are really getting a bad rap because they contribute mightily to the communities that they live in. I would say that the star owner, and the one that I am probably most impressed with, and a lot of people don't understand Mr. Jerry Jones, but they have no idea of how much good Mr. Jerry Jones still does, not just in the Dallas-Fort Worth community, but nationally with Bob Kraft up in New England. People have no idea how much money that man gives and how much he reaches out into organizations, medical organizations. People just don't realize what an important part of our society these people are. And today with the players who are like you're playing, so very many of the players during their younger player years established foundations to help out in their communities and to help different causes in their communities. So as far as I'm concerned, they can't make enough money because they don't take the money home and burn it. And they don't, as I said, take it and put it in like my grandpa, who was from Haiti.
Right.
Bury some of it in the backyard.
So, Bob, when we talk about that, a big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates. Of course, Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Wild Cable, here with Bob Grant. You can call him Uncle Bob. He's the chairman of the Players Congress, also a Super Bowl champion. We let Bob talk because, look, he has so much insight, so much experience. And I'm glad you brought up about what the owners are doing, because everyone views the owners as being, they're the evil empires, whatever, the Jerry Joneses, the whatever. It doesn't matter who it is, right? But they're not that way. And I think a lot of people have misconceptions about some of the ownership issues. And so, Bob, when we talk about what this one does, what that one does, we talk about foundations. A lot of these people don't know what the players really do with their money and what the owners really do with their money. It's not that they're just stockpiling. They have community responsibility as well.
You can't stockpile money. You've got to invest it in something. And anything that the dollars from the professional athletes today, anything that they invest in, anything that the owners invest in, provide jobs for someone. Those dollars are working for someone. And people overlook that. A lot, if it's a truck driver, let's say, well, a truck driver may earn money by drive a truck that picks up hot dogs in Arkansas somewhere and drives them to a place where they're going to be packaged, and then another truck driver drives them around to all of the stadiums and then you have people that are selling the hot dogs at the stadium. And dollars don't just sit when they are made. With all of these wealthy people in our country, they're investing in. Now, the one complaint that I like to have is when they are starting investing too many of those dollars outside of our country and taking employment to other places, which quite a bit of that has been done over the years. That has been done over the years. Also, and if anything, I think that maybe we should place some restrictions on how much money any American can invest outside of the country.
Yeah, I think there are areas within our economy. And folks, why are we talking about this? We're talking about it because it affects each and every one of us. Yes, it's a sports show. And yes, Bob Grant is the Super Bowl champion. Yes, his company does make a lot of apparel for what? For the sporting world, right? Chances are, if you're wearing a hat just like I am, everybody can see on TV, there's a good chance that maybe the Players Congress may have made this hat or something like this. The fact is, private enterprise creates jobs. The government doesn't create jobs. I think, Bob, that's a very fair statement, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we manufacture apparel for Ford, for Chevy, for Dodge, for Harley Davidson, for the movie industry, for Disney. We manufacture garments for not just the sports world, but for the world. So there are people who are walking around wearing things that came through our factory, and they have no idea because you don't see Players Congress in the label. You may see the ABC Corporation. We make it for the ABC Corporation. We put their name in the label. You look at a lot of the stuff that is done for Fanatics and the NFL stores and stuff. Their name is in the label, but we manufacture it for them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't really realize that in those stores, whether you're in a shopping mall or in downtown, wherever, or in small town USA, the fact is, folks, this gentleman and his organization has a big impact on our economy. And likely, if you're a sports fan and you're listening to this or you're watching this on television from coast to coast, guess what? There's a good chance that something you have in your house or in your apartment or whatnot was made by or manufactured by Players Congress. Now, that's a really good thing. And we love the fact that it's made in America because we really push that idea. We just can't be spending money overseas the way we're spending it right now. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, for Christ's sakes. People don't really get it. In our last 2 minutes, I want you to segue us into our next topic for the next segment.
And it's going to be my call on that?
Yes, sir. It's your call on it.
The youth in this country and how we are neglecting them while we're pretending that we're not neglecting them, and how we're using all of these crazy, stupid rules to cripple them when they are our future. And I'm going to address what many of the other countries are doing with their youth.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. Listen, folks, we bring Bob on because and he's been a partner with us, I don't know, for about 5 years now, thereabouts. And if you go to the partners page of the Sports Circus, you'll see the Players Congress right there, their logo. Click on the logo and it'll take you right over to their website and you can investigate the page. You can pick up some apparel. You could do everything you want to do with it, but share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it on your social media, because this is a real do-gooder organization from back when the game was the game. And by the way, folks, there are some apparel that has when the game was the game as well. So we're going to hear probably a little bit more about that when we come back. But Bob, so far, I think this is insightful. A lot of people don't really realize the scope of what the former players have done and can do within their community. And I'm glad you brought up the owners and the current players as well with their foundations, because I think they're getting a little bit better with that instead of blowing it on wild things once they get signed to some big deal. Some players don't even spend a penny until after their careers are over. Back here in just a few minutes with the great Bob Grant. You can call him Uncle Bob here on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come. Don't go anywhere.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. That's 800-989-1694.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP.TV. This segment brought to you in part by Kelly Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help with everything they need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job, and host their very own talk show in their very own home studio. For more information, contact Kelly Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit online for more information at www.kellyvegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. All right, welcome back to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM, right around the corner from where we're situated on Fremont Streets here in Las Vegas. And, of course, all of our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Wow Cable. Thanks for joining us also on social media. Everybody watching on AAMP.TV as well, Facebook. And, folks, we are back here with the great Bob Grant. You can call him Uncle Bob. And Bob is also the chairman of the Players Congress and a Super Bowl champion. And in the last segment, you previewed something about the youth, Bob. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Go ahead and drive the bus for a little while here.
Well, Sal, I think that the greatest asset that we have in this country it's not dollars, it's not medals, it's not even the resources that we have in this country. It is our young people. And I think that we have neglected and even in some instances abused that most valuable asset that we have. I'll start at home. A lot of people say that in the family structure that we have today here, that there are no fathers in the home. Well, there are many instances where things just don't work out and the father doesn't end up in the home the way that I like to look. And you'll look at it, and I think that the problem is we have too many fathers who are not an active participant in the lives of those young people, whether you live in that home or whether you live someplace else, because young people do need guidance. So we have to ask ourselves, where are they getting their guidance from now? In the inner city, their guidance too often comes from gangs. That becomes their family. They join in there. And then we have another beast that is the real beast, and that is the media. The media is raising our kids in many instances. They're telling them what to eat. They're having them abuse sugar. They're having them do a lot of things that's just, they don't encourage them to smoke anymore or anything like that. But there are a lot of activities that the media encourages them to do that is not in their best interest, nor is it in the best interest of future society there. Too many of these kids are being raised to think that it's all about them. They're being raised to think, me, I'm the center of everything. Look at me, I'm wearing this, I'm wearing that. Then we're in the apparel business. They're like also. Whereas I do believe that with a civilized human being is raised and educated to understand that you take care of yourself so that you can take care of those that are nearest to you, those that you love, and then those that are in your community, and then those that are in your nation, and then those that are on the planet. But with our kids, educationally here today, they are being outperformed by many of the young people from some of the other nations around the world, simply because those young people coming from those places are just out working. They're being guided to outwork our kids. So what happens there, if we look far enough into the future, then the people who will be making all of the decisions on the planet and in this country even will be second or third generation real foreigners. And the people who have been Americans for a number of years will be English speakers only. That is all that I can say. With so many of the people that we are bringing in, and this is abuse as far as I'm concerned also, so many of the people that we're inviting in across our southern border right now, these are very sharp people. These are really smart people, even though a lot of Americans may not realize that my grandpa came from Haiti originally before his family came into South Carolina with all those people who came into Pawleys Island, South Carolina, who were Haitians originally. But with those people who are coming in here now, many of them are unskilled, but the next generation, their kids are going to be college graduates. And they're going to do well because they're coming to America to take advantage of the American dream. And mark my words, with our kids who don't want to work today because of a pandemic, natural or unnatural, in any case, it was there and we're getting past it now, even though it's probably going to be with us forever, the same way that the common cold has been with us forever. So this will be with us, and another one will come after that. But we have encouraged our young people to stop working and take the government your handouts. I dare say that when McDonald's is starting people off at $16 to $26 per hour, as are a lot of other places, a lot of the immigrants who are coming in undocumented across the southern border like you're now, sooner or later they're going to start taking those jobs. And when our kids, Americans who were born and raised here, when they're ready to get back into the job market, what they're going to find is the next generation of the people who are coming in as undocumented aliens like you now, their kids would have gone to high school, gone to college, and they will be taking those jobs. There will not be any jobs for our kids then. So consequently, they will then have to rely on the government. And when you have to rely on someone else to take care of you, we had a perfect situation like that 150 years ago, like you or so, whereas we had a certain class of people, my people, who did not have to worry about a place to stay or clothes to work or clothes to wear or food to eat, because all that was provided for them. But they had to work and do what the master of their plantation had them do. And the master kept all of the profits and took care of them like they were little kids. And I'm very, very fearful that is, it's called slavery, in case you haven't figured it out. I'm very, very afraid that our government is setting our younger people up to become sophisticated slaves.
So, Bob, let me ask you a question. I'm glad that was a real good analysis. I guess looking at this now, whether it's sports, whether it's business or science or whatnot, or education, I guess now we think about what is the air quotes American dream. We don't necessarily know anymore because it is evolving. And the American dream may be for those that are coming into the country, because a lot of Americans don't even know what the hell the American dream allegedly is, because we're so conditioned to a system, we don't even know how to define it at this point. So take 1 minute. We're going to have to wrap things up real soon. Take 1 minute and talk about what is the American dream as you see it today.
I believe that the American dream can be found, for the most part, in the Constitution of the United States. If you will go through that, and with all the rights that we have there, under the system of government that we have, the American dream will be revealed there. And I don't know that we've ever had it perfectly, or that any group has ever had it perfectly, but we were working our way toward it. And I would say the past few years, I felt like we have lost ground and that we have gone backwards on that, when media can tell us what we can say, what we can do, getting very close to telling us where we can live. Maybe that's not done verbally, but if you can control someone's finances, you can control what they can live, what they can do, and what they can own.
Okay, well, that's good stuff. And just remember, folks, this is an evolution of a document, but I am worried myself of the younger generation. They don't even write in cursive, let alone could read a fancy document. So they have to find it on the computer. What if there was no computer? Hell, a lot of the kids today can't even tell time from an analog clock. They have to see it. I actually know people like this, which is completely mind-boggling. That's another conversation for another time. Listen, Bob, take 10 seconds quickly. Tell everybody how they could follow you at About the Players Congress. Hurry up.
Well, we'll be doing some more things with Sal in the Sports Circus, hopefully on a regular basis real soon here. I just wanted to make sure that we could do a really good job. You can follow us at playerscongress.com. And while you're there, please, with the new brand that we're building, when football was football, we have over 150 items there that we make that you will enjoy, from sweatshirts and T-shirts to jackets to rally towels to cups. Go there, please, and support us. That is playerscongress.com. And visit the When Football Was Football store there.
That's good stuff. Folks, make sure you check out that website. And by the way, of course, Bob is also featured on the partners page. So make sure you click on that link as well at thesportscircus.com too. Bob, thanks for joining us today. Of course, Bob Grant.
You're on our partners page.
From the football world and a champion of life as well. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
Business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.